government was ready and willing to have President, 60th President remains brought to Zambia and be buried with all honors, befitting a former Republican
with the
president.
Condition that President Hakainde Hichilema should not.
When you remove President Hakainde Hichilema in the equation, you must be out of your mind, because President Hakainde Hichilema, as far as we are concerned, he's the head of the Republic of Zambia at the moment. And you cannot take that away, regardless of what you feel or what you have for him to say, look, this gentleman should not be there. Those are imaginations. Some of us have indicated sitting here that I know President Lungu. And at nowhere where it's written that President Lungu said, if I die, the one who challenged me or beat me in an election should not be part of my burial. Never. It was never there. These are things that you...
Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
Honorable, before we get into our conversation, allow me to just go through some of the headlines today in the Daily Nation as well as the Times of Zambia newspaper. We have Chawinga's plot to bribe SA judges flops as the family of former President Lungu contemplates submitting the audio to the South African High Court as supplementary evidence of how desperate the Zambian government wishes to wrestle the remains of the former head of state from the family. We also have arrest Chawinga for planning aggravated robbery in Nakachinda. And NGOCC trashes bribery allegations over Bill 7. The Tonse Alliance rejects Lumezi poor results, and Calabar to report Chawinga to South African police. Right. We have the Times of Zambia opposition desperation saddens UPND and dismiss Changala's Mfuwe petition, ECZ. And Bamba Harvest drops Shima price. We bangled that is a sports story, and the main story, the main headline reads, it's fake audio, PF faction leader says viral audio is AI fabricated, police notified. And cyber crimes, ECL's ex-political aide nabbed. And we have ex-EIZ boss arrested over 575,000 kwacha. And also Faith Musonda goes in for 30 days. Faith Musonda has been arrested for 30 days. Right. Honorable Mfalali, obviously, we know what the elephant in the room is as we're seated here, and that is of a leaked audio that has been circulating on social media from yesterday or the other day, if I may say that. There's an audio that has been leaked of PF faction leader, Honorable Chawinga, in which I don't want to go into the details of the discussion, but we'll be able to play that audio a little later as we get into our discussion. But I want you to react to that particular audio. We know that there are people, there are members of the UPND that have rubbished that audio, saying that it's AI fabricated, as well as Mr. Chawinga himself.
Well, I think I'll go with two things, or let's maybe analyze the whole audio, which is purported to have been leaked. I don't know when they say leaked video or audio, what people mean, whether it was a manufactured one or someone leaked it. But my take is it's something that could be made. Why am I saying that could have been made? It's simple. If you listen to the audio, it takes details of how many calls were received and who is involved. And no matter how dumb a person could be, you cannot give such detail to an extent of saying, you know, I waited and the 30 day whatever, then from there I was on the plane. That detail to me is suspicious in the sense that it it looks like it's someone who is creating a narrative, and that narrative is all about trying to bring President Hakainde Hichilema in light or in bad light, because you hear someone saying, I was with this, and this morning someone sent to me a video now showing Chavinga on the plane talking to one of the mentioned person in the audio. So it's all gives me suspicions, say this is indicated or indicative of something that is a machination, something that has just been created to create a scene. And unfortunately, that audio does not actually meet the standards that I know of President Hakainde Hichilema. It doesn't. It does not get involved in such things where someone says, no, we are supposed to talk to judges. If he cannot talk to judges in this country, that means his own judges who he has appointed. Why should he talk to a judge who he doesn't even know? Because that's not his character. So to bring a picture or create a narrative that President Hakainde Hichilema is so much desperate to win a case or whatever, that's not him. It's not just, it can't just balance. It does not play in that area. I'll give you examples of areas when judgments were passed against him. He has never been moved or gone a route where he wants to indicate or to talk to a judge, never. When we were doing some election in Copper Belt for Kavushi, I think judges here back home said, no, there is an injunction and they accept an injunction. At no time, it clearly indicates to you, he's not interested in knowing what judges are doing. Never. So they pass judgment and the people are like, no, why should he? Then he has no intelligence, all sorts of things. He has intelligence, but he is not interested in sniffing with judges and trying to come up with a conviction or something that will be closer to him. No. That has been the case. And look, we are talking of a gentleman, we are talking of a president. Allow me to call him, we are talking of a guy or a person who has capacity, even when it requires money, to say this is the money that you can give a judge. He has it for him to win a case. But has he ever done that? No record whatsoever. Even when they decided to say they won't listen to his petition in 2016. At no time, some of us who are very close to him, at no time did he even utter a situation or try to bring in a situation where he says, can we have the judges or can we talk to the judges?
Honorable,
this is the character of a person we are talking about.
Are you perhaps saying
and we are saying this is not him. So especially for me who has traveled with him far and wide, I know that he does not believe in those so-called bribes. If you want to try President Hakainde Hichilema, His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, to understand his character, even the police, when they were trying to torment him, push him around in opposition, at no time did he try to say, okay, the police, we need to control them. He allowed them to operate as policemen. All he did was, I'll stand my ground as opposition leader. If you want to get to me, at one stage, yes, they did get to him, to his body, meaning they managed to get into his house, attack his family, attack the wife and so forth, break his house windows and so forth, do all sorts of dirty things. At no time did he ever blink to say, okay, now maybe let me compromise. He refused.
Right.
So the compromise by President Hakainde Hichilema is far-fetched when you talk about him trying to convince a judge in South Africa.
Honorable Mfalali,
nothing to do.
This leaked audio comes at a moment and at a time when the government of Zambia and the Lungu family are trying to negotiate as to where President Lungu is going to be put to rest. These issues are in the South African High Court. And from the audio, we hear that, they're trying to bribe the judge, stage a protest in Zambia so that, the judge can rule in public interest of the Zambian people. Now, are you telling us that someone is trying to probably just paint a bad name for the president?
Look, the originator of that audio is a highly questionable character in the name of Emmanuel Mwamba, who we know so well that is a propagandist, who believes that propaganda can win him with votes, or propaganda can create a narrative. I know Mwamba, and we know how much propaganda he has been putting forward to convince people that this current leader, the current leadership of UPND New Dawn government, is not doing the right thing. And he has tried by all means to put a picture that is indicative of a failed leadership, that is indicative of a president who does not adhere to the law and order. But all that nonsense that has come through propaganda and so forth, it has failed to pass a test.
In short, you're telling us that Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba generated that audio.
He's the one, he confessed that he was listening to it several times. He admits that it came from him and that he posted it on his Facebook. That's what he said. Me, I saw the one which I saw is one where he says, I listened to it and then I said I'll post it on the page. That's where it is, and that's where I found it, or someone sent it to me and said, look at what Honorable Mwamba has posted on his page, saying he has a video on audio where people are talking about the burial. Now, look, the desperation in that side of the camp is high. When they reach these levels, where he wants to put an audio that should put the president in bad light with other nations or with the judicial system of South Africa.
Maybe try to tell us, Honorable, how you think Honorable Mwamba can generate an audio and make it seem like somebody, somebody is just trying to bring the president's name
the whole audio is trying to bring the president's name. There is no other person they are targeting that audio. It's just the president. So much as people can say whatever they want to say, my concern is you want to bring the name of the president in disrepute in this audio by bringing an audio that speaks of the president giving instructions. I've just told you that, look, President Hakainde Hichilema is a well-known leader from opposition to leadership now. And even now as we are talking, this is one president who will never push for a favor. And I think he has put his position. I'm not here.
You sit in Parliament, Honorable
I'm not here. Remember the words. Right. I'm not here in the High Court there, in the Constitutional Court. I'm not here to seek favors. He told those judges who are sitting, I'm not here for any favor. I have come to seek justice. Those words up to this day, they have never changed. I have come to seek justice. The election was stolen. Prevail, and I have evidence enough to show you as judges so that you judges can make a ruling whether this election was not stolen from me. That judgment was not passed. So at no time did he start looking for favors. He put it clearly and said, I'm not interested in any favors. You don't favor me. If you are not going to make any judgment, it's fine. We'll proceed. We'll go the next round. We'll push our agenda. And what did he do? He managed to win the following election. To prove the critics wrong that those who won in 2016 didn't win. He managed to win the 2021 election. So we are talking of a person, in this case, a person who has a president who believes in high standards, not this taka arrangement where I want to put him and say, no, Hakainde was giving instruction to someone and this. All that audio, to me, is a fake audio. It's an audio that does not portray a character of President.
How would you describe the relationship that Honorable Chavinga has with the UPND?
We don't even have that that relationship which one can say we are in a relationship. There is no such a thing. Because I sit in the National Management Committee where if you have to go into an alliance with the UPND, we have to approve it. At no time have I approved the PF in the National Management Committee that they can be partners with us. No, there's never.
So those claims by Honorable Chavinga that is in an alliance with the UPND?
He is free to speak what he wants. But for as far as I'm concerned as an MC, if any party comes into an alliance with us, what we do, I think you know very well, Lolisa, that what we normally do is MMD, the way they came. MMD is one of the parties that came recently. And they are asked to say they went into negotiations And once those negotiations were concluded, the culmination of the working relationship goes into an alliance. And it was done publicly and openly. And that's what we have done. We have done these things openly. We don't hide any alliance. So at the moment, I am not too sure or aware of a relationship that would say we have a relationship with the PF.
What do you think makes Honorable Chabinga speak so highly of working with the UPND? Even
That's why I've indicated
to an
you.
extent that he's endorsing the president for
He
2026.
is free to endorse.
Recently,
There are so many people that have endorsed President
he spoke
Hakainde
about
Hichilema.
going to Mfuwe to campaign fully for the UPND.
That's his. Those are his rights. He is free to speak his mind, to say, look, I'm free. I'm ready to work with the UPND. No one will stop Honorable Chabinga from working with the UPND. If he so says and wishes, say, I want to work with the UPND. And if he says, I want to go to Mfuwe and campaign for the UPND, we cannot stop him. And he is most welcome when it comes to him to say, I want to spend my time to campaign for the UPND candidate in Mfuwe. No one will stop him. And even when he says, I endorse President Hakainde Hichilema for 2026, we cannot stop him. That is his right. That is his own standing or his position, together with his friends who are with him. So if they say, for us, our faction or our, as leaders of PF, in inverted commas, we are willing to support UPND, we won't stop him.
What do you mean in inverted commas?
There are so many factions in PF, as you know. Yes, there are so many. That's why even the paper quotes him as faction leader. Because each one is saying, I'm the president, this one says, I'm the president, and so forth. So, what I'm saying is, for anyone in the PF, whether in a faction or non-faction, when they endorse President Hakainde Hichilema, we cannot stop anyone. When they say chiefs, those chiefs who say we're endorsing Hakainde Hichilema, that's their liberty, that's their freedom, that's their democratic right for them to decide who they will support for 2026. So that includes Honorable Chabinga and any other person from the PF who would be willing to support President Hakainde Hichilema for 2026.
Right.
Yeah.
Let us talk about the ongoing issues between the Zambian government, obviously, as well as the Lungu family, with regards to President ECL's remains. What has happened the past 2 months, I think from June stretching into almost August now. This is July 22nd of July, and these issues have not yet been concluded as to where President Lungu is going to rest. Let us talk about what message this whole fracas has sent to the world at large.
Well, I don't know. I'm not too sure how far it has gone. As far as I'm concerned, the matter is in court, and the courts will decide. I think the negotiations that were given, or the negotiations that took place, whatever negotiations that took place, I think the government was ready and willing to have sixth president remains brought to Zambia and be buried with all honors, befitting a former Republican
with the
president.
condition that President Hakainde Hichilema should not.
When you remove President Hakainde Hichilema in the equation, you must be out of your mind, because President Hakainde Hichilema, as far as we are concerned, he is the head of the Republic of Zambia at the moment. And you cannot take that away, regardless of what you feel or what you have for him to say, look, this gentleman should not be there. Those are imaginations. Some of us have indicated sitting here that I know President Lungu. And I know nowhere where it's written that President Lungu said, if I die, the one who challenged me or beat me in an election should not be part of my burial. Never. It was never there. These are things that you cannot change. It happened.
Have you seen
no matter how much I've not seen anything in relation to someone or him writing that he should not be there.
So how are you sure that he did not say
it has never been availed. People are just talking. That's a mere talk. When people are talking, they say, no, President Hakainde, President Lungu, the 60th president. The title of the 60th president has never been removed from him. And it cannot be removed because he served the period as 60th president of this republic. So you cannot remove, no matter the differences in terms of ideology or politics, you cannot remove the title that he holds. And that's the more reason, even the family, they believe that he's the 60th president. And all of us, we believe, even as a country, we all know that President Lungu is the 60th president because he served as the 60th president. So whatever differences you have, at the end of his journey in life on earth, his lasting or resting place is where presidents are buried. Yes, even when we have, history, we have a historical background of some of the happenings before when former presidents were buried. The Kaunda family wanted first Republican president to be buried next to the wife. What did the government of the day do that time? They said, no, wait. If you want, actually, there were talks like, no, we'll bury him temporarily here. He will sit here. After that, then you can now take the body and go and bury it next to the wife. That can't happen. That didn't happen. And this, at the moment, we are a republic that has laws, that has protocols, that has traditions and own culture, which when a president, former president dies or sitting president dies, we have a system that we follow. We have a tradition of getting the remains of former presidents to be buried at presidential burial site. That's what we have in this country. So for anyone to think, no, President Hakainde Hichilema should not be, how does it become a state funeral? Who receives the heads of state? You want to dethrone or remove by virtue of a burial to say this one is not a president and don't recognize him as such. That's suicidal. That's not what we are as a country. You must allow the protocols, you must allow the systems to play their role. That's what we are. So when you give, like a politician like me, when I give myself to public life, certain things are said about me because of the what I've chosen, and because I've put myself in public. Secondly, even former ministers have those protocols that are given to them when they die. So we cannot deny that to former President Lungu, the 60th president. So the confusion is not necessary at all. There was no need to have that kind of drama, that kind of discourse and direction that people took. You go and bury him in South Africa, and then what? After that you come back, or after that you do what? I don't think that's patriotic. It's very unpatriotic for anyone to think of burying the former president in a foreign land.
Right. No. Do you perhaps think that if President Hakainde Hichilema had admitted to the conditions or agreed to the condition that the family gave, saying that President Lungu's wish was that President Hakainde Hichilema shouldn't come near his body, do you perhaps think that if President Hakainde Hichilema had decided to probably delegate, maybe to the vice president going to represent him at the funeral, do you think we would have been having this discussion currently?
You see, when you talk of the head of state being the commander-in-chief armed force, for the forces or for the force to come and salute the commander-in-chief must be there. Otherwise, there will be no military presence there. So, the truth of the matter is, people have fabricated the whole thing. People are fabricating about the former head of state's desires and so forth, say he didn't want. No.
How do you know they were fabricating?
It's just a fabrication.
How do you know that?
What I know is, as I have told you, for some of us, we have lived and spent time with the former president, the 60th president, as the MP for Chawama.
You spent more time with him as compared to
so we understand his character.
As compared to the family.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Say, it's nothing to do with the family. It's a fabrication from politicians.
How do you know?
We have heard them. We have been talking about it, trying to trumpet it to the highest level, so that maybe they could win political games out of it. And we have insisted as government that let's not politicize the death of the former president. It doesn't help. They went into Kalurushi there. They went into Kalurushi there.
Also present.
Did you hear their messages for using the former head of state's death? Trying to bring and to say it there. It's not. It's very uncultural of Zambia to get a dead, the remains of a former head of even or individual, and use them for your campaign so that you could win an election. It doesn't work in Zambia. It doesn't actually fit well with the Zambian traditions and culture. So for them to go out of their way, instead of preaching how they would want this country to be managed, how they would want to win an election in 2026, they start using the board.
Honorable, kindly hold your thoughts. Let us take this
That's
call.
not the case that's supposed to be.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please tell us your names and where you're calling us from.
My name is Mlenga. I'm calling you from within Lusaka.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mfalani.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Sure.
Honorable Mfalani, I think most of us as Zambians and the people that are listening to you are wondering as to why the dead Lungu is more loved than the Lungu that was living. I think it's in public domain that President Lungu had a very bad relationship with this current government. We know that President Lungu was denied opportunities to travel to South Africa for specialized treatment, I think on 3 occasions. And even this last time that he had to sneak out to go and receive that treatment, it was because this government obviously failed to take him out from the plane that he traveled, because the UN rapporteur then was at the airport. The death of Lungu could have been attributed to his not being going, for him not having gone for treatment in good time. So this kind of situation is very emotive, not only to the family, but also to the Zambian people. When you are there, you know that this government demonized the Lungu from all angles, starting from the youth, starting from your
Mr.
members
Mlenga,
of
we'll ask
parliament.
you to wind up.
Members of parliament, the way President Lungu was demonized, I think it's in public domain. We heard even the Republican president when he was in Chawama, where he was saying, afuna kubwela mkubawe ni mapenzi sibulo. What we can do kapitila huku, tafyanta takwila pa mkosi. Don't you think those could have led to Zambian people now becoming suspicious that the dead Lungu is more loved by this UPND government
Mr.
than the
Mlenga, thank
Lungu
you
that
so
was
much.
living?
Thank you so much. All right. We officially open our phone line this afternoon, 0770893728. That is the number that you'll be dialing to be part of the conversation. Remember to also catch us live on our Facebook page. It is Millennium TV Zambia. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Your names and where you're calling us from?
Just call Mr. G.
Yes, Mr. G. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling you from Kasam.
Please go ahead with your contribution or question.
Yes. Honorable.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
You know what? Sometimes we wonder whether we have got leaders in your party, whether you have got mwalipata umutima wa chikuku wa kumfila kwa banenuluse. Do you understand Bemba very well?
I might get something from there. I'm
Yes.
able to understand.
Sometimes we get to wonder whether we have got people, Christian values, people, we don't know. And I don't see why people like you can even start discussing about Lungu, whom you insulted almost on a daily basis. He was a former president and you never respected, not even a single day. If you knew to say he was a former president, one, you're supposed to respect him. Regardless of whether he has come back to politics, coming back into politics doesn't mean that the person cannot be respected if he eludes that particular country. The only thing which is there, maybe you can remove salaries and what, but being a former president, you're supposed to be respected. You allow your own UPND cadres insulting you. And we never see you, Honorable Papa, in any fora condemning those thuggeries who are insulting the former president. Today, can people fail to talk about Chitumbi when you insulted him on daily basis. Mune kwata kono oluso muntu nga nabafuirwe ekiriro. Look at now ama audio alefuma. Mulese banefingi. Mulese banefingi bamuferayi. Mulese banefingi nga kyakuti kitumbita mwakirekere kwa bene ba family bakitecho balefuaya. Mulese bana muletu mwenesha mu kukyalo tatwapita mu mulifi mwatuletera imwe. Mushaba bene ba UPND mwelesa wabafumisha.
Mr. G, thank you so much for coming through. 0770813728 is the number that you're dialing to be part of the conversation. On our Facebook page, it is Millennium TV Zambia. Please do send us a direct message as well on the same line that is on your screen. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, sir. Your names and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, this is Mr. Msonda calling from Williams.
Yes, Mr. Msonda.
Yeah. Yeah, the sad part is this funeral, the problem, the family, they have allowed the politician to take full charge of the funeral. In the way that that president, our former president, Esther Lungu, he was a Republican president. Yes, he's a family man. What the family should remember is that he was our president, he was paid by us Zambians. Today when he's dead, they don't want the government to be involved. But he was given by the Zambian government. We don't care about whether His Excellency our HH or what. What we need is that person and the family should agree and understand there is nothing to take from the family. That person belongs to our nation, Zambia. This is what we, even personally, I'm claiming, we bury someone away from our nation. Why? So I think my advice even to these politicians that are in forefront of this funeral, let them mourn nicely, let them give respect to the family.
Right.
I'm appealing also to the family of Lungu, the sons and the daughters, and the brothers and sisters.
Mr. Msonda, I'll ask you to wind up.
Yeah, thank you. They should understand quickly and the protection away from the Edgar's body. They have nothing to say. Politicians, take them away. It's nothing. There is no way you can use the dead body to gain momentum or to have Larry to talk about.
Mr. Msonda, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
All right. 0770813728 is the number that you are dialing this afternoon. Do remember that this program is also live on Millennium TV Zambia on our Facebook page. Do reach us and be part of the conversation. Make your contribution or send us a question. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. You're through to the program.
Oh, good afternoon, madam.
Please reduce the volume on your TV, sir.
Yeah, this is Eric on the line.
Reduce the volume on your TV. Right. Ensure that you reduce the volume on your TV as you're calling us so that we're not getting feedback in the background. The number is 0770813728. Do call us back on the same line that is on your screen and be part of the conversation. Mr. Chileshe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my sister.
I'm all right, Mr. Chileshe. How are you this afternoon?
I'm all right, thank you. Honorable, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chile. How are you?
Thank you, sir. Let me thank you, Honorable, for what you did to me when I lost my brother. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much, Honorable.
I'm humbled, my brother. We are brothers.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable, ngatakwa batu batuefu mwaliwa sendere nga fiya batu sendere nefifine lero nga tapati nomba nichi abe ndi mu UPND muli bakuchechi ekyayisabipa nomba honorable can to mind to say President said Akainde Chilema before he became the president he had so many enemies. Okay? Some of them who were not just even looking or hearing his name to to be a Zambian. And we need to assure you that these people have continued and they have multiplied to be enemies of President Hakainde Hichilema. And that's where we are appealing to you leaders to say, can we concentrate and protect this president? If we have treated PF the way they treated us. So sometimes we are in politics. Number one, as I conclude, Honorable, it's that, look, as we are talking, the people that are sweeping in offices of the MPs, ministers, ministers, directors, are the people that the PF employed.
Right.
What do you think these people cannot share the information?
Mr. Chilesha, I'll ask you to wind up.
Let me make my point. So in case of private conversation, the information is not being shared.
Mr. Chilesha, thank you so much.
The PF was still.
All right, 0770813728 is the number that you're dialing. We'll pick one more call, then we'll let Honorable Mfalali respond. 0770813728. That is the number that you're dialing. Good afternoon. Hello? Right, seem to have lost that call, but do call us back on the number that is on your screen. It is 0770813728. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon to you.
Please reduce the volume on your TV.
Afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir. Your names and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Lusaka. My name is Eric.
Come again and please speak up.
I'm calling from Lusaka. My name is Eric Tema.
Mr. Emma?
Eric.
Yes, Mr. Eric, you can go ahead with your contribution.
My contribution is that looking at what is happening in the Lungu family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we go back when Lungu was the current president of the nation, I remember, if I'm not mistaken, our president, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, never recognized Edgar Lungu as the president of this nation. And again, Lungu had a medical treatment. He was supposed to travel to South Africa. But on several occasions, Lungu has been denied. So, this trip, when he even passed on, the people that allowed His Excellency to go to South Africa, they were fired. And this government is not talking about that. Why is it that those people, they were fired because of allowing Lungu to go and take medical attention? And here they are now, fighting for a couple, a dead person as a nation. It's a shame. It's very, very shame. You can't be fighting for...
Mr. Eric, I'll ask you to wind up on your point.
Yes, thank you. You can't be fighting for this person. You need first to settle by that person. That's when you come up with all the agreement. How do you take a person who is fit to court?
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Eric, for your contribution. I'll give Honorable Mfalali a chance to respond, and we'll pick another set of calls just before we wrap up with our conversation this afternoon. Honorable, I'll let you respond to our callers.
The first comment, I think, was that we are indicating some love. It's not a love affair. The government has the responsibility to look after the head of state and his remains. And once the remains of a former head of state are brought, they'll be buried with honors as a state functionary or as a state, as it's provided for. That every former head of state is buried at a presidential burial site. And it's not about a love affair to say we go to bed and no. All about ensuring that the culture, the traditions, the protocols of how we bury former heads of state should be followed. That's all. That's what it's not about love, like someone would want to say, no love. Politicians, they have different approaches, or they always argue and differ on ideologies, but that does not mean they are enemies who cannot see eye to eye. No. Secondly, the issue that the other one was talking about, the other gentleman who didn't mention his name is saying is G, and he's talking about Barrio to say, why do you want to, it's just a state function, state protocol, the state is a tradition, and government is involved. So then he talks of respect. I think I sat here well before on this seat when the late president went to Central Police and started calling policeman Babosi. I sat here and I said that was heartbreaking to me, to see a former head of state, commander-in-chief, former commander-in-chief, calling someone who was operating in his name as commander-in-chief of the armed force. That broke my heart, because I said it on this chair. One of you was interviewing me. I said it on this chair. I said, that was breaking to me. Why did anyone try to start forcing Mr. Lungu to go back into politics? For him to start calling a policeman, whether it was a sergeant or a superintendent, whatever rank in police, come. And someone, president, that was heartbreaking. And the one who was saying, no, allow the president to call that person and tell him, boss. When others said, no. Within their group, if you watch that video, that was the time the whole arrangement was bringing the former head of state down by forcing him to come into politics. So that is not when it comes to respect. For some of us, as I sat here, that's why I said to the person who was interviewing me then, to say that to me was heartbreaking, because I didn't want, in my lifetime, I didn't want to see a former head of state calling a sergeant or a superintendent or whatever rank in the police after being commander-in-chief of the armed force of this country. That was heartbreaking. So it's not about political parties giving respect to getting respect out of the president, but about those who forced him to say, let's get back into politics. Those are the people I blame. They should have allowed him and recognize that he is a former head of state with all the dignity that he deserves, than to take him to a police station, Central Police, and tell him, say, you call that one to come, because that one was off. So it's the PF that mismanaged the whole thing. But we don't want to go into there and start talking more about it. The other gentleman is talking about, Mr. Chile. He talked about the treatment. Yes, the treatment was bad. That President Hakainde Hichilema,
she was actually in support of
yes, I'm coming to what I was, because he was saying we are wearing jackets because we are church people, and we want, with time we put the jackets aside and treat them the way they treated. There is no tit for tat in the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. An eye for an eye. It's never there. Why? When the PF, if you remember, when the UPF came in, the way they beat the MMD, they beat the hell out of them, going into their homes, and they all disappeared. In the current leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, there was nothing like PF whatever scampering from their homes, being hunted. President said, we have taken over leadership, and there should be no savagery, there should be no crime, there should be no hatred, there should be no issues to do with criminality. If you do it, you are on your own. The Zambians, they were supporting PF, but now we have to provide leadership to them and ensure that nothing happens to those who did not support us. We don't want to use the culture of violence against our opponents who do not believe in our vision. That was what President Hakainde Hichilema. And even when you married, when he was arrested, do you know that we had the capacity to start demonstrating all over? Not the demonstration that is being talked about here, to demonstrate against what? We had the capacity. I was the youth leader by then, and I was told, point blank by the president, don't put this country on fire. Don't do anything that would destroy enterprise, that would destroy people's businesses. We had the numbers. We could do anything. But as he was going in, he said, hold on, don't do anything. Now, this is a leader who has always believed that there should be no violence, and he didn't want to use violence. It's very possible. For me, and the numbers that we had with the youths in Lusaka, Copper Belt, we could have put this country in ashes. But the leader, once the leader takes direction, it follows. And once President Hakainde Hichilema says, there is no violence, there is no need to demonstrate, there is no need to start burning bridges and so forth, because we need to use those infrastructure. There is no need of coming to Millennium TV and burning Millennium TV. For what? What will be the benefit after you have taken over? Nothing. So he has always believed that we should do the right thing. And even when we differ in opinion, ideology or otherwise, we must remain citizens and respect each other for that. And that's the more reason if President Hakainde Hichilema said, I'm not going to arrest President Lungu or try to push for his removal of immunity or to do anything otherwise, he was allowed freely to do what he wanted to do.
Are you sure?
Exactly.
Are you
You
sure?
saw him jogging.
And you stopped
You
him
saw
from
him.
jogging. And he was stopped from jogging, Honorable.
You saw him jogging. He was jogging.
He was stopped from jogging because that was considered a political.
He was jogging.
Political move.
Not him as an individual. He was allowed to jog. Okay, so he was jogging. The fact of the matter is he was jogging.
And he was stopped from jogging.
No, he has never been stopped from jogging.
Honorable, you're not being sober in your submission.
No. The issue was on the numbers, not on the president, that the president should not jog, the former president should not jog. But the numbers that people started disrupting.
What was wrong with the numbers?
I mean, if you are going to do things which disrupt the order of things, definitely the police will move in. And it's not the UPND, it's the police that have the power. It's not about the President Hakainde Hichilema or the UPND stopping.
Are you telling us that President Lungu was jogging with crowds?
You didn't see them. That crowds were increasing. As he jogs, people are taking advantage of that, trying to disrupt the order of the republic. So that is the police's work. If they see me today and say, no, the numbers are too much, and we have laws in this country, that will always be indicative of what direction should be taken. If you want to do a marathon, you will have to inform the police to say, we are going to do this marathon. That will be jogging and will be disrupting. Traffic will be making the noise and so forth. So the police are on standby. They are literally just protecting you. Because it's very easy for the other different grouping to step in and say, oh, they are jogging. It's very easy for any other political party to come out jogging. Let's embarrass them.
In one of the interviews,
the numbers are there.
In one of the interviews, I'm sure you've seen that interview as well, Honorable Mfalali. President Lungu spoke about how he felt like he was under house arrest because he wasn't allowed to go. He felt like he was under house arrest because he wasn't allowed to jog. He wasn't allowed to go to church. So he felt like he was under house arrest. And you're telling us that he was free to do whatever he wanted.
He felt, but he was not under house arrest. President Lungu enjoyed his freedoms in this country, and he moved in whichever direction he wanted to move. He moved in Cairo, he moved in Freedom Way, he could move and do whatever he wants. No one stopped him from doing that. Yet the opposite is true of his leadership.
Honorable, I'll still take you back
but the truth of the matter is he was enjoying the freedoms.
You're talking about he was working freely in Soweto, he was working freely in Cairo.
Exactly.
We've hosted people here from members of the UPND, and we've seen how even the youth leaders were threatening to stop President Lungu from doing what he was doing in Soweto that particular day.
I'm here as a UPND member, and I will tell you that at no time did we stop Mr. Lungu from moving on Cairo Road or on Freedom Way. He went there with the former president, former MP for Petaoke. Did you see them being stopped? They did whatever they did and they left.
And that unsettled some youths in the UPND.
No, I mean, I have always told you that for UPND, we believe in the freedoms of our citizens. And they must enjoy it. They were not attacked.
I'll still take it that you're not being sober in your submission.
No. It's not about being sober. It's about the truth. The truth of the matter
everything is on record.
No, Lisa, the truth of the matter is no one attacked Mr. Lungu in town. Was he attacked?
What would
I'm
you say
asking you, was Mr. Lungu attacked in town?
You wanted him to be
He was
attacked?
not attacked. No. It's very simple if you want to use thuggery to in leadership. What I'm telling you is that the truth of the matter is we were attacked many times for trying to move maybe the group under his leadership. My leg here has metals in it for just trying to campaign in a ward in Isioma. People believed under his leadership that they can do anything and anything goes. Not in the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. Under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, there is law and order. And that is what is upheld under his leadership. And that's what he believes in. That let's be orderly. Let's not be haphazard in doing things and do it bomber. That arrangement is no longer there. Today, as I talk now, or anyone who you have invited in Millennium TV here on your set, no one has entered that door by force to come and remove anyone sitting here being interviewed by any member of the staff or journalist from this media. So that clearly indicates to you that we have managed to put law and order in place. And that's the more reason investors are coming in, because they understand our systems. They understand our direction and policies, that we don't believe in a situation which is disorderly, chaotic, and so forth. No, we don't believe in. And that's the more reason everything we do is in order. It's something that we always believe that there must be order. We must respect the investment of Millennium TV. We must respect the investment of Millennium Radio and many other enterprises that are in this country. That we have scored. You never see any cadre.
So why was President Lungu then denied?
He walked the whole street.
Why was he denied flying out to go and have
no one? Again, I'll tell you that no one.
This was admitted from the submissions recently in the
for me
South
as
African
UPND. For me as UPND, maybe those who had issues with the law and whatever. Yes, but as UPND ourselves, we have never stopped. Mr. Lungu.
Personally.
No. As UPND party, we have never stopped President Lungu from flying. The last time he was flying, he flew through KK airport here. So, if really we wanted to to stop President Lungu from not flying out, people want to say, the other gentleman says the rapporteur. The rapporteur, who brought the rapporteur is President Hichilema, who requested to say you can come and value us. Come and evaluate us. I went to meet the rapporteur myself.
It's also on record that the person actually at the airport had given him access to go to South Africa was suspended.
All those are fabrications, propaganda that is being played now to say, let's create propaganda. This one is suspended. People, when they do, when they are punished in their offices or management, they should not attribute it. Say no, because Mr. Lungu flew, I was on duty. No, if someone has stolen money or someone has had the disciplinary issues, leave them there. Let them deal with them there. Don't bring President Hakainde Hichilema. Such officers at the airport, they are too junior to say, no, it's the president and so on. No. President Hakainde Hichilema has allowed free flow of information. He has allowed people to work freely. And that's the more reason Chileshe was saying, even drivers were recruited by... No drivers have been moved. We have allowed drivers who were there to work under the PF. They are still driving. Office orderlies, secretaries, they are all there. Why? President Hakainde Hichilema has insisted, if we continue on the trajectory of trying to remove this one for the sake of political affiliation, we won't unite this country.
Right.
This country is united because the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema has made it so by allowing those who had different views, including radio stations and TV stations, that they should operate freely. Even when they are anti him or his party or his ideologies and so forth. That's what democracy is all about. And from the time he came in as president of the republic, no television station or radio station has been closed. Right. Why?
Honorable
because he believes in the freedoms of enterprise. Enterprise should operate freely and enjoy the freedoms that are provided for in the Constitution.
Let us see if we can pick two calls or a call before we wrap up with our conversation this afternoon. The number that you're calling us on is 0770813728. That is the number that you're dialing. The Government Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Likando Mfalali, is joining me on set this afternoon. Do call us and be part of the conversation on our Facebook page. It is Millennium TV Zambia. Do catch us there as well and leave us a comment in our comment section and just be part of the conversation. Now, one of the callers, Honorable, raised the question as to how do you expect the family of the former head of state to accept the fact that now that President Lungu is gone, you want to love him in his death. When he was alive, he wasn't considered, he wasn't even actually recognized as head of state. How are you recognizing him as president now that he's gone?
Okay. There's only one president at a time. And even when you say recognizing him as president,
as former president.
We only recognize him as former president. The current president is President Hakainde Hichilema. And that must be very clear to, there are not two presidents at any given time. Secondly, the presidential provisions is provided for in the constitution or in our laws for the former head of state were being provided for. Until such a time when he said, I'm going to do politics now. When he reduced himself by central police, by shouting, by bossing, that's the time that he lost that area, that portion of the presidency, or former presidents, I mean. So the former presidents, as it is, no one said stop calling him former 60th president. Even if he didn't move out of his statesmanship and move in, persuaded to say he must start practicing politics. All these things which people are talking about, say no, he was not given. He said he will start Mingalato and he will do everything. The laws provide that if I decide to go into politics, then I lose everything. And it's not the first time. When a late President Kaunda decided to go into politics, Mr. Chiluba said, okay, he's now a political opponent and will answer him as a political opponent, a political leader of UNIP, and so forth. So really,
after he died?
They honored him.
Because those benefits were withdrawn because he decided to go in active politics. And we know that the former head of state died while in active politics, even in South Africa.
The truth of the matter is, when a former president dies, is buried as a former president. The title does not go away. Exactly. So that applies to Mr. Lungu. Even when everything was withdrawn from the former president, be it Arabi, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, and so forth. The truth of the matter is they remain former presidents.
Good afternoon. Please reduce the volume on your TV. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're through to the program. Your name's and where you're calling us from?
This is your senior citizen, Mfano Mangala. I'm calling from within here, Chilulu.
Yes, senior citizen. Kindly go ahead with your contribution.
Shangwe Batwani. Shangwe.
This is quite an emotive issue that we are discussing. Some of us are still mourning even now. So I think my advice to you would be that don't try to defend that which cannot be defended. The majority of callers that have called there have told you the truth. The late president was reduced to the level that he just looked like somebody who was not even a president. According to you, the UPND. In fact, in your leadership, you looked like you were inciting people not even to give them any form of respect. We hate such kind of utterances. That youth in Northwestern Province, Kanema, that one, where those comments surely come from somebody who was even younger than some of his children. Did any of your leaders react to such kind of comments, insulting comments to former head of state? Lungu deserves to be respected, regardless of what. But we didn't do that. Even the president, the current, did not intervene in issues regarding Lungu, never. Some of us saw him as somebody who was even encouraging that.
All right. Senior citizen, due to time,
what he says is what he does. No.
We'll ask you to wind up.
So I think when you respond to what callers are saying, please be sober, because we know what your part did to the man you want to give respect now, deserving burial.
Thank you so much, senior citizen. Thank you so much.
Not necessary. I think the family is right. Let them back.
All right. Unfortunately, that is why we have to close our phone lines in due to time. Let Honorable Mfalali respond as you also make your closing remarks.
Okay, let me just respond to Mr. Mangala and some of those who insist on saying respect was taken away from the president. Your respect, personal respect, is earned yourself. Now, when immediately you go on the political stage, in politics, people take you as a politician, not as a former head of state. That's what was happening. For me, I said it here, sitting here, I said that was breaking for me when I saw the former head of state telling a policeman that boss him. Just because people failed to start mobilizing a party that he was leading, then they tell him, say, no, you can come back and start doing politics. That was not fair for Mr. Lungu, the late president. That was not fair. So Mr. Mangala should do realize one thing, that it's not us who sent Mr. Lungu to Central Police to go and tell the former president, to go and start calling the police Imwe or Babos Imwe. No. It's not the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema. They never forced President Lungu to go back into politics. He decided, that was at his own volition, that I will start politics at the memorial service of the late President Michael Sata. May he so rest in peace. That he decided that I want to go and start doing Mingalato. If they have whatever they can keep the manners of theirs, I will do it on my own. So that is a political right. He has the democratic right to decide to go back into politics. But the law is very clear. When you go back into politics, much of a privilege that you enjoy as a former head of state are withdrawn until such a time when you come back. So, and say, I've now stopped the politics. I will now continue as a statesman. We expected him to be the statesman. But that water under the bridge. For now, he is former head of state and must rest in peace. Right. That's what we are pushing for. That's what we need. That's what is desirous of this country, to ensure, even regardless of the differences, you must lay him, rest him in a dignified manner, befitting the head of state.
Honorable Mfalali, it's been a pleasure. We're being one of time. Thank you so much for coming.
No, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have a chat and interact with our people there. Right. For now, let's continue with working as a family, uniting this country. Let's not divide it for the sake of funeral and so forth, trying to take advantage of a situation. No, let's unite this country. Let's prove to Africa and the world that we can do it together regardless of our differences in opinion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. This has been the Nation of Pulse program on Millennium TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. Honorable Likando Mfalali was joining me this afternoon, his government deputy chief whip. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Lovisa Chulufianto. Tomorrow, do stay tuned to Millennium TV today.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.